does every emerge start with you?
This is church, Eddie. Take it serious. He told
Tú?
you that, not me.
Huh?
He told you that, not me.
I know. ¿Y tú?
Shh, they can hear you. They're gonna know it's the Vision Movie Church.
Who's that? I don't know what his name is. He just speaks Spanish.
Chris knows him already. Chris is the only Spanish speaker here.
You don't know him, but Chris knows him? What's going on? Nice star. Seven.
Okay, so I am going to just really quick before we start. Remember, okay, those of you who are taking cash division, this last Sunday is the last class, okay? So if you're coming, I know Alexia, I know Chris is taking it, and is taking it. So it's the last class this Sunday, so make sure that you're there, okay? If you have not taken cash division, make sure that you let us know, okay? Also, August 17th, this coming Friday, we're having our back to school emerge back, okay? It's gonna be an awesome time. Guys, we've already got it all planned out. It's gonna be food, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be prices. So make sure that you're there, okay? And it is a pool party. Yes.
Guys, if you want the flyer to send it out to your friends, please come up to me afterwards so we can get your name. I'll send you the flyer so you can send it to other people via social media and stuff.
Yeah, there's a little flyer that we have that we've been sending it around, so I'm not sure if all of y'all have received it, but I know most of you must have it, okay? And so this is only this is only if you're up to 18, okay? So if you're already in college and you're already, you know, kind of married, and you need to transition, like if you're here and you're already a teen and you're already going to college and all that, we have links specifically for you, okay? Okay, so don't forget, back to school, okay? And so this evening, I'm going to be talking about priorities, okay? And I'm sure that y'all hear all the time, yes, Dara, I know what priorities should be, you know, God's here and then everything else, right? But I believe that some of us don't really do that, you know. School is right around the corner. I know IDEA has already started. Who goes to IDEA and already started school? Okay. And college already started too? No? Okay, I'm like, why are you raising up your hand? Okay, so some of you have already started, but for most of us, La Jolla and Mission mainly, that's what's here, are about to start, right, next week or the following. Okay, so this summer, I have seen a lot of y'all grow. If you all were here for inversion, for some of you that don't know, inversion is a summer youth internship that we have that's a week long, that we get to grow in our walk with God, and we just build relationships from that, okay? So I I noticed that a lot of you grew. A lot of you were involved. A lot of you stepped out of your comfort zone. A lot of you built a lot of friendships, right? That you probably didn't speak to people before, and now you guys are like best friends forever until you die. Okay, and so one of the things that I heard the most being a leader by Epson, okay, Epson, guys, he's new to the church, but because he's 21, he needs to go to link. Okay, guys? Okay, so a lot of the things that I heard, just, from being a leader in Inversion and getting to hang out with a lot of you all was, that, you're hungry for God, you're loving what you're living in at the moment. But once summer is over, you go back to school and everything changes. Okay? I think we're all guilty of that, so don't think that I am, just pinpointing at some of you all. I did see, I think we all saw just the hunger and just like, you're in the presence of the Lord and everything's great, right? You're involved, you're this and this and that, but then once you get to school, it's like, why does that stop, right? And we can't allow, school and a whole bunch of other things to get in the way of what we accomplished. We can't allow, I know it's easier said than done, but once you start going to school, you start having distractions and you start having temptations.
Yep.
And everything else is more important. And in the summer, God was right here, and now God is at the very bottom, right? Okay. So if you all want, you have a choice, whether to have a life of meaning, truth, and love, or you either have a life of just regrets, convictions, you feel lonely, you feel sorrow, because at the moment when you're going to school, when you're hanging out with friends and partying and all of that, at the moment it feels so fun, right? Then when you get home or something happens, it's all over and done with, right? So it's always better to have, it's always better to choose the life of happiness, even though you're categorized as, oh, you're the Christian, but at the end of the day, it's just easier to manage all those difficult situations that come to your life. Okay, so I wrote down a few things that I'm sure you all have heard of before, but we all know that putting God first requires you to make time, requires you to pray, it requires you to read. And I was thinking about this, and I'm just like, it is your job to make God famous at school. Not to make just God famous just here while we're at church and while we're in Virgin and we're hanging out with our Christian friends, but it's also your job, even though, God doesn't say specifically, oh, go make me famous, but that is our responsibility, that is our duty to make God famous at school, at work, wherever, grocery store, a gym. I know a lot of y'all are working out. Yes, I see those muscles, Oscar. I see them. Okay, so that is our responsibility. Okay, don't live just in the moment. We're in Virgin, we're in church. Oh my God, God is the best. And then you go to school and you forget all about Him, right? So you know that that's the primary thing, to pray, to read. And remember that in Matthew it says that if you deny Him, He will deny you, right? Keeping ourselves accountable. As an adult, I have to keep myself accountable too. We have pastors, we have leaders that keep me accountable, and you all too have to keep yourselves accountable. Here you can find yourself a mentor, whoever, you pray about it, and whoever you feel that God is leading you to. I know that I've been asked to kind of help and guide, and if you have a certain person, if you're praying and one of our leaders. It could be, if you're a leader, raise your hand. Delia, Oscar, Eric, Max, Gabby. There's a lot of people here who you can come to, okay? Not just here, but we also have leaders at Big Church. We have Steve and Cindy. We have Jose, right? We have Jose, who's one of our deacons. Pastor Vern, you all can come to any of us if you all do not feel comfortable with one of our leaders here, but I can rest assured that all the leaders here, I know their hearts, and I know that they will, they're good, I promise you. So also we have small groups, okay? I really encourage all of y'all to get connected. I know Delia has small groups, Gabby. I know a lot of them have small groups. I really encourage you. I've seen this guy, my daughter just joined a small group, and I have seen her grow and just build relationships, and before she just wanted to be home all the time, and I'm like, get out of here, and now she's always like, Mom, can I go, and I'm like, of course, but some of you, that's why sometimes I feel like you all kind of stray away, because you don't have the connection with anyone, you're not building relationships and friendships, and you're not growing in wisdom and knowledge of, God's word. You also need to learn how to say no sometimes when you're in school, okay? You need to learn how to say no to certain things. When you say yes to everything, I used to have that issue where, somebody started, let's go to this party, okay. And I'm not talking about parties like, ooh, at the club, no. I'm talking about like, it's a birthday party, it's this, it's that. And I would say yes to everything. And I just felt, I had 4 kids, I had work, I had school at one point, all of these things. And I just kind of felt like I was going to party after party after party, work, 4 kids, and all of these things that I found myself sometimes not even having time to read the word. Also you can get caught up in my personal, area, where you get caught up so much doing so much work that you forget about the important thing, which is having a relationship with God. Okay? We tend to crowd God out. Okay? Matthew 6:24 says, no one can serve 2 masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. And here for you all, it might not be money, it might be something else, okay? Like, you can't love sports and love God the same. Like, you cannot do that. You cannot love your boyfriend and love God the same. God always has to be first. So if you're spending so much time with your boyfriend, but you're not spending time praying about your relationship, if you're spending so much time with your boyfriend and you're not reading or building relationships with the rest of your ministry, you can't say, I love God first, I always put God first, because that's not true. You're just lying to yourself. Okay? For you all, let me see. I noted some things down, and I just kind of asked around a few people. Social media. Nowadays, your phone, you wake up, and the first thing you do is look at your social media, right? You're looking at your social media. You get in the shower, you take a 2-minute shower, you get out, and you look at your phone again, right? To see who looked at your pictures or who commented on your post or retweeted, right? Okay? TV, Netflix. YouTube. I know a lot of us can binge, right? Right? I know Pretty Little Liars, and I know all of these. What are they? Yes, all of those. Okay? That TV is not more important. You guys, work. For some of you that are a little older, that already work, you start to work and then you start missing church, right? Oh, I gotta work, I can't come to church on Wednesday. I have to work, so I can't come to church on Sunday morning. Or I have to work that I can't attend that Bible study anymore. Okay, so you have to reflect again and be like, you know, is this really what God wants me to do? Work and not, I'm not saying that work's not important. You know, some of you all need to work and earn that money, but you just can't work all the time, and all of a sudden you start missing church every single time and not being involved, and that's how you start to lose your relationship with God, right?
Yeah.
School activities. I know a lot of you do sports, football, basketball, soccer, volleyball, all of those things where y'all are in clubs, or you know, y'all have to do whatever it is. And like I said, I'm not saying that any of these things, school, work, all that, it's not important, but it's not priority, okay? I know for a while, and I hate to pick on my daughter, but that's all I know, okay? I hate to pick on her, but you know, there was a time where I was dropping her off at school like at 6 in the morning for practice, and she would go to school all day and sit for practice again, and then she had a game, and she was getting home so late that she'd like, do you have homework? Yeah, but I'm just gonna go to sleep, you know? And that's what we start doing. That's what we start doing to God. I'm so tired. I'm doing so many things that I just can't wake up on Sunday morning. You know, I just don't feel like it because I'm just so exhausted. Money, like we said, work, right? Which is kind of the same. You start getting more interested in money, then you need to work all that overtime because you need money to buy things that you don't really need. Okay, going out with friends, like I said, your boyfriend and your girlfriend, you know, we start putting so many things on top of God. I read this verse, and it might not be very related to the other verses that I have for you, but it is Psalms 23, verse 5 through 6, and it says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Okay, when I started talking about inversion and how I saw how you all were, okay, I had this picture in my head that I'm going to show you, and I want a few volunteers. Let me see. 5. Let me see. Okay, so that verse just popped up to me because I'm like, this is what I see. And I'm not just pointing you guys, okay? Please don't like, my gosh, she's talking about me. No. This is everyone. This is me. This is every adult at main church, you know? This is the cup is you all. And this is you guys. It's not gonna overflow because I don't want to make a mess. But you guys are filled, right? And this is what happens. Let me see. Okay. Alexia, come here. What is one thing? Don't say God. Okay? Don't say God. What is one thing that is your priority when you go back to school? Here. Get this. Okay? Yes, I want you to poke in the bottom.
Say it.
Yes. Okay, wait. Okay, so for Alexia, it's soccer. Okay, Delia.
Hey, money.
Okay, Delia, aside from God, what is your priority?
Work. Work. Nails.
Oscar.
What did she say? Work.
Chris.
Fortnite.
Don't say God. What do you spend a lot of your time doing? What have you realized is one of your priorities?
Fortnite.
Okay. Okay. Let me see. Who else? Victoria. Aside from God, what is one of your priorities? Okay. Hey, she's honest. Okay. Who else? Somebody. Jeanette.
School. School.
Tom Holland.
Movies? Oh, okay. She watches a lot of TV. Joseph. What's on your priority list?
All his life. Soccer. Basketball. Soccer. Tennis.
Okay, one more. Victor.
Whoa, Vicky's back in Dallas.
Wait, what?
Okay.
What is it?
Okay, guys.
I don't know.
So I don't want to make a mess, but okay, this is a perfect example of how you all are, how we are, right? Our cup is full. This summer we loved him, we praised him, we worshiped him, we shared him with so many people, with our family, the world, everyone, right? But then what happens when we go to school is sports, football, phone. Everything else is a distraction. You're letting all of that come into your life and it's draining you, and you no longer are full. Sorry. You are no longer full of what you need to be full of, which is God's word and his wisdom and all of his promises. It's just kind of like forget about it because you let so many things come into your life, okay, that you have no more room, or what he has put into you, it's like you don't remember it anymore because you let so many distractions come into your life, right? I was reading the story of Martha and Mary. I don't know if maybe some of you all are familiar with it. Okay, there's Martha and Mary. Yay, a lot of you, yes. Okay, so long story short, Martha and Mary are the ones that if you see pictures of how you've heard they're washing, one of them's washing Jesus' feet, right? And he goes into their home, and one of them is so caught up with just getting everything ready, right? Getting food ready, getting everything ready for everyone to show up. And Mary is the one that is at his feet, listening to him and washing his feet. So I believe all of us have a little bit of both qualities, within us. But Martha was the more practical one, impulsive one, and short-tempered one. Okay? Mary is the one that's more reflective, loving, and calm. And Martha was kind of upset because Mary wasn't helping her fix food and get the place nicely, right? And she told Jesus, she told him, well, why are you allowing her to just leave me doing everything on my own, right? And he was more of you are so caught up doing what is not important instead of listening to me. And that's us right there. Some of us are Marthas. Some of us are too caught up with everything else that's going on in the world to listen to him. And Mary was good about that. Mary was just at his feet, listening in awe to everything that he was saying. And that's what we lack. We lack just taking a moment and not be so caught up with everything else that we don't listen to what he's trying to tell us. Okay? It's not about fitting God in our lives, it's about making him a priority. Okay? And that's one thing that I keep thinking also, like, make God famous, you guys. He is supposed to be your priority. You have to come to a place in your life where you are more interested in pleasing God than what you are interested in pleasing yourself. Okay? Galatians talks about that. Galatians 2:20 says, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. That verse gives me chills because when I am reminded of him giving his life for me, I feel so unworthy of him doing that. It seriously gives me chills and it makes me want to cry every single time I think about that because I am so not worthy. But to him I was, you know, and we tend to be like, oh, God's not important, you know, because you can't physically see him. He's not physically present, you know, tugging at you like Linda, like, I'm Jesus, listen to me, you know, pay attention to me. You know, everything else is, your friends are telling you, let's go, it's okay. You know, your boyfriend's telling you to do things that are not okay. Everything else, sports, if you're doing sports and you do sports so much that you miss church, it's not okay. I'm just letting you know right now. If sports is more important, if you're out of the game or whatever, and you're missing church because of it, just gonna leave it like that. Okay, Matthew 16:24-26. Then Jesus told his disciples, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Okay, for whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. God is so good, you guys. God will honor everything that you're doing. Trust me. And I'm sure all of y'all have. I have lost so many friends because I am a Christian, you know? I don't go to the clubs, I don't go to the bars to drink, so maybe they don't want to hang out with me anymore, you know? I make a choice to not say bad words, so now I'm just a Christian, you know? I honestly have even stopped talking to one of my sisters because every single time we get together, they're always drinking and I'm not saying I'm better than them, I'm not, because there was times where I would still go and hang out with them and I wouldn't, you know, but you know drunk people, right? They start to fight and they argue and they start to offend you and insult you and then it's crying. And I was like, I can't do this, like that's crazy to me. Like I seriously would rather stay home and watch Netflix, right? These are the moments where I'd rather stay home and be on my phone or go walk or something. But it was just getting to a point where I just couldn't stand that. And so you guys will lose friendships, you guys will lose some family because y'all are putting God a priority. Okay, and so don't feel bad about it. We cannot put God in the trunk of our cars. Okay, some of us use God. You all imagine, you know, you're in a car and you put him in your trunk and you're driving, and every single time that you have an issue, you go back to the trunk and you pull him out and be like, God, please help me with this. We can't run to God every single time only when we have an issue. Okay, we tend to do that. We tend to have a difficult time in our lives and we cry out to God, God, please help us. God, why is this happening? Why are you allowing this to happen? And then when the problem gets fixed, you forget about him. You know, so we need to remind ourselves that God, we can't use God and we can't just put him in the back of our trunks. You know? I wanted to do something a little bit different. I know it's been forever since we get into groups, and I think that there's no one better than yourselves because I'm 35. Guys, I'm still young. But I was in high school a very long time ago. Okay, I graduated a long time ago. But I really want you all to talk amongst yourselves. And maybe you trust each other more than what you guys trust me. So I would really like for us, I have some questions. If I can have some leaders to come and maybe get into groups and just kind of leaders, if y'all can take these questions and get in a group and just kind of, get together and talk amongst each other. Yeah, guys and girls, it's okay. So, Daniel, like if you want to get 5 people, Cassandra, you can get 5 people, Gina, Eric. Okay, so there's 4 groups, let's say 10 people. 4 groups, 10 people, maybe one group will have like one more person. 4 groups of 11 people. Oscar says 4 groups of 11 people, you guys.
Guys, if there's already 11 people in one of your groups, and you make sure it's 11,
Max is people.
3 people that are not going to have a group, then no issue. But there's 5 people over here, now there's 6, now there's 7, we can still squeeze a few more. So, hey.
You can stay here and make a smaller group.
talk afterwards. We're just going to close up in prayer very quickly. Don't forget about Friday, we're going to have the back to school bash at Oscar's. If you guys need any information, you can talk to me, you can talk to Star, to Oscar, to Gina, to Cassie, to Max. We're all here to give you guys information. If you guys need rides, go up to people too. We do not have the van. But a lot of us drive, a lot of the leaders drive, and we can provide rides for you guys. Just let us know and heads up. So if you guys can just close your eyes really quickly.
Guys, if you are taking your personal vehicle, if you're not getting dropped off, sometimes where I live, the cars get really packed and people can't pass through. In the very beginning, when you enter the street to your right, there's going to be a parking lot. My parents own that lot, so you can park your cars there and you can walk to my house. It's a pretty far distance, but this is just in case the lines hit. I'm talking about real bad. If they're not, then you can park on the side of the road and no one minds, because that always happens. But if they do start getting packed where like everything's filled, then you're going to have to start parking in the parking lot. That's the first thing. Second thing, if you are going to want to send out messages to people that you want to invite, please meet one of the leaders so we can jot down your number on our cell phones, take a note real quick, and then we'll text you the information, the flyer, having the address and everything, and you guys can do on that whole thing.
Also, we're going to have a pool, so if you're going to want to get in, make sure you take clothes and you take a towel.
No bikinis,
Yes.
please.
Please, guys.
I'm not wearing my speedo because of this.
Praise the Lord.
I got a question.
Okay, we're just gonna take a second to close real quick, and then you guys continue to mingle. Yes? Okay?
Yes.
Okay, just close your eyes and bow your head. Thank you, Jesus, for today, God. Thank you for your mercies over us, Lord, and for just having your hand over us at all times, Lord. We pray that today may not go to waste, Lord. We thank you for Star and her word, God, that you may bless her for it, Lord. And we just pray that relationships may be built today, God, that they may not come out the same way we came in, Lord. We thank you for your love and who you are, and for an amazing word, Lord, that we just place you first over everything, God, that we do not just forget this and go on our day just like nothing, Lord, but that we may take it and that we may really, really walk it out, Lord. We're so thankful for you. We're thankful for another day. We're thankful for your forgiveness over us, Lord. And we just love you so much. And we're just so blessed to know you, to have you, and to be able to be in you, Lord. In your beautiful son's name I pray this, amen. Amen. Yay.